Welcome to Stoic Golden Tribe, where enduring wisdom meets the strength of the present, and where we uncover the truth modern society refuses to teach men. In today's world, far too many men are caught up in emotional chess, matches they never agreed to play. They fall into cycles of manipulation, silent treatments, and psychological traps. Not because they are weak, but because they were never taught the rules of this hidden game. But here's the truth. When you stop playing her games and instead become the game changer, everything shifts in your favor. This isn't about dominating anyone or winning at relationships. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about understanding that you are the prize, the one who sets the tone, and the man who moves with purpose. The moment you stop reacting to every emotional curveball, you become a man whose value speaks louder than any words. The ancient Stoics believed that he who controls himself controls the world. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In the same way, when you control your emotional responses, you stop being a pawn in someone else's game and start becoming the architect of your own life. In this video, we will break down exactly how to stop playing her games, how to maintain your frame when tested, and how to build the kind of presence that naturally commands respect. By the end, you'll not only understand the dynamics of manipulation, you'll know how to rise above it with calm, clarity, and quiet strength. So, before we dive in, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic Golden Tribe. Your engagement helps us bring more men into the brotherhood of self-mastery. And don't forget to leave a comment with your thoughts, because your story might be the inspiration another man needs today. Chapter 1. Understanding the game. You're in. Before you can change the game, you must first see it for what it truly is. Most men fail here, not because they lack intelligence, but because the rules are hidden in plain sight. They are emotional rules, unwritten, unspoken, but deeply felt. A woman's games can take many forms: subtle tests to see how much she can influence your mood, sudden changes in tone to gauge your reactions, or setting up scenarios where your patience and composure are put to the ultimate trial. Sometimes these games aren't even conscious on her part. They're ingrained behaviors to measure the strength of the man she's dealing with. The ancient Chinese general Sun Tzu wrote in The Art of War, "If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles." Now, in relationships, the enemy isn't the woman, it's your lack of awareness. When you don't understand the dynamics at play, you are like a soldier wandering into battle blindfolded. Think about a man who's constantly trying to fix every emotional shift in his partner. If she's upset, he drops everything to comfort her. If she's distant, he chases harder. At first glance, it seems caring, but in reality, he's reinforcing the wrong dynamic. He's teaching her that she can control his energy and attention simply by withdrawing it herself. Instead, the game changer recognizes that not every reaction deserves a response. He doesn't ignore her feelings, but he doesn't abandon his center to prove himself either. He remains grounded, steady, and intentional in every interaction. Emotional games only work on those who are easily swayed by them. The man who stands firm in his values, who knows his mission in life, is far harder to manipulate. Why? Because his sense of self is not built on external validation. The Stoics believed that a man's greatest fortress is his mind. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." You can't stop a person from trying to test you, but you can stop those tests from moving you off your path. Drop your thoughts below. How have you handled it when someone tried to test or play games with you? Chapter 2. Holding your frame. When tested. If Chapter 1 was about seeing the game, Chapter 2 is about not being moved by it. In relationships, frame is everything. Your frame is your mental and emotional position, your worldview, your standards, your inner calm. The moment you lose your frame, you lose respect, influence, and the ability to lead in the relationship. A man with a strong frame doesn't overreact when tested. He understands that tension is not always conflict. Sometimes it's simply a measure of his emotional stability. When a woman throws out a sarcastic comment, tries to make him jealous, or suddenly changes plans last minute, He doesn't scramble to explain himself or seek reassurance. He simply responds from a place of grounded confidence. In Roman times, the philosopher Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." A test is not always an attack. Often, it's an unspoken challenge. Can you remain yourself when the ground beneath you shifts? When you hold your frame, you send a silent message. I am unshaken. I choose my actions. No one else chooses them for me. This is powerful because it creates a shift in the dynamic. She realizes that her emotional swings cannot dictate your state. And when a woman sees that you are in control of yourself, she feels safer, not because you react quickly, but because you react wisely. Picture a man whose partner suddenly flirts with another guy in front of him to get a reaction. A weak frame would explode in anger or try to win her back by outshining the other man. A strong frame, he doesn't play the bait and react game. He calmly continues his evening, addressing the matter privately later, from a place of calm, not emotional chaos. This is how you flip the power dynamic. You stop letting her set the tempo of the dance and you start leading it without needing to announce that you're leading. Share in the comments. What's one moment you held your composure under pressure and refused to be pulled into someone else's game? Chapter 3. Becoming the Game Changer. Up until now, we've focused on recognizing the games and holding your frame. But the true transformation happens when you stop merely reacting and start shaping the environment itself. Being a game changer means you redefine the terms of engagement. You set the tone, the pace, and the emotional climate of your life. When you're the game changer, you're not just avoiding manipulation. You're creating a reality where others naturally align to your standards. You're no longer asking for respect. You're living in a way that makes it the only possible response. From defense to offense. Think about the difference between a man who's always dodging bullets and a man who's designing the battlefield. The defensive man may survive the day, but the man on offense shapes the outcome. In relationships, offense doesn't mean aggression. It means intentional leadership. It's choosing your activities, your mission, and your energy before anyone else decides for you. The ancient Spartans understood this well. They didn't wait to be attacked to prepare for war. They trained daily so that every encounter, whether in politics or battle, happened on their terms. The same principle applies here. If you're constantly reacting to her moods, you're living in her game. If you have your own plans, your own priorities, and your own code of conduct, you're creating the game she has to step into. Raising the standard. The game changer's life has a gravitational pull. You don't demand someone stop playing games. You live in such a way that the games stop being effective. For example, if she tries to create jealousy, you're too focused on your vision to engage. If she withholds affection to test your patience, you respond with composure and continue living fully. If she tries to provoke insecurity, you've already done the work to know your worth without external approval. In this way, you subtly teach her that her old strategies don't work here. The relationship shifts from manipulation to mutual respect. Imagine a man who spends his weekends building a business, improving his fitness, and contributing to his community. He's busy creating value in his own life. When his partner tries to draw him into a petty argument, he doesn't rush to fix it or prove himself, not out of arrogance, but because his life is too purposeful to revolve around drama. Over time, she realizes that to keep his attention, she must bring peace, support, and inspiration, not chaos. This is not about being cold or distant. A true game changer can be deeply loving and emotionally available, but he does so on a foundation of self-respect. And because his life has direction, others naturally follow that direction rather than pulling him into distractions. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." The game changer lives this daily. He doesn't just set boundaries, he becomes the example of a life worth aligning with. That's why he wins without ever needing to play to win. Leave a comment. What's one way you've started setting the tone in your relationships or life instead of reacting to others? Chapter 4. Sustaining the Game Changer. Mindset. Becoming the game changer is one thing. Staying the game changer is another. Any man can have a moment of strength, but true mastery is when strength becomes your nature. The tests don't stop just because you've risen above them once. In fact, they often become subtler, designed to find cracks in your armor over time. This is why sustaining the game changer mindset is about more than tactics. It's about lifestyle, philosophy, and deep self-discipline. If you only rely on quick tips or temporary bursts of willpower, you'll eventually slip back into old patterns. But when you build a life where self-respect is the foundation, holding your frame and setting the tone becomes effortless. Consistency over intensity. Most men think they have to be intense all the time. Hyper-alert, always on guard against manipulation. That's exhausting. The real secret is consistency. When you live by your values every day, you don't need to be on guard, because your habits naturally protect you. It's like a seasoned warrior who doesn't need to draw his sword at every sound in the night. He's trained so deeply that his instincts do the work. The more you make emotional discipline, purpose, and respect part of your daily rhythm, the less you have to consciously try to maintain your power. Guard your inner circle. One of the fastest ways to lose the game-changer mindset is to surround yourself with people who thrive on chaos. Your environment shapes your frame more than you think. If your closest companions are men who tolerate disrespect, chase validation, and fold under emotional pressure, you will, over time, absorb that energy. The Stoics believed in the power of surrounding yourself with those who strengthen your virtues. As Epictetus said, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. The same is true here. Your friends, mentors, and even your romantic partner should respect and reinforce your boundaries, not constantly test them. Never stop evolving. The danger of becoming the game changer is that you might get comfortable. Comfort breeds complacency, and complacency invites weakness. A man who stops growing begins to shrink without realizing it. The mindset that makes you strong today must be sharpened tomorrow. Read daily, train your body, build skills, expand your network, explore new challenges. The more you grow, the harder it becomes for anyone to pull you into games, because you're too busy playing a much bigger one. The game of becoming your best self. Picture a man who built himself from the ground up. Disciplined, respected, living with purpose. Over the years, people have tried to pull him into drama, distractions, and petty power struggles. But because his habits are strong, because his mission is clear, and because his circle is solid, he doesn't just resist, he thrives. His relationships are based on respect, his career grows steadily, and his presence commands attention without him asking for it. Women don't test him the same way because they sense his emotional stability. Men respect him because they see his consistency, and most importantly, he respects himself because he knows he's living in alignment with his values. The Greek philosopher Heraclitus once said, "A man's character is his fate." The game-changer mindset is not a set of tricks. It's the shaping of your character. When your character is strong, your fate naturally follows. And here's the ultimate truth. When you live like this long enough, you don't just stop playing her games. You stop even noticing them. Not because they're gone, but because they've become irrelevant in the life you've built. Share your thoughts. What's one habit or mindset shift you're committed to keeping for life so you remain unshaken no matter who tries to test you? At the end of the day, being the game changer isn't about proving a point to anyone. It's about proving something to yourself. It's about looking in the mirror and knowing that you live with integrity, purpose, and unshakable self-respect. The man who refuses to be pulled into petty emotional battles has more energy for his mission. The man who commands his own emotions commands the respect of others without chasing it. And the man who sets his own standard will never have to beg for loyalty, because his very presence inspires it. Remember, every game has a winner and a loser, but the game changer plays a different game entirely. He's not trapped in short-term moves. He's building something lasting. He understands that tests will always come, but he welcomes them because each test is another chance to prove that his foundation cannot be moved. Ancient wisdom has always taught us this truth. Your greatest victory is not over others, it's over yourself. When you master your emotions, when you stay true to your principles, and when you walk with quiet strength, the world adjusts to you. So as you step back into your own life after this message, carry yourself as the man who doesn't just avoid playing games, but transforms the entire playing field. Live in such a way that respect is the only currency you deal in, and watch how quickly people either rise to meet your standard or fade from your life entirely. If this message spoke to you like this video, share it with a brother who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Stoic Golden Tribe for more wisdom that modern society refuses to teach men. And before you go, drop your thoughts in the comments. Your insight might be the spark another man needs to change his own game.